Hello and a warm welcome to TVC News, our top stories. 1 month of campaigns, triumphs and trials. Hungarian envoy in Tanzania eager to reinvigorate ties.
Characterized by mutual respect.
Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TVC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TVC Online. The presidential candidate of Chama cha Mapinduzi, CCM, Samia Suluhu Hassan, says if her party is re-elected to lead the Tanzanian government, she will ensure the completion of the construction of the Tanga-Pangani, Pangani-Saadani, and Makurunge roads, as well as improving the livestock, fisheries, and industrial sectors, and restoring the Tanga region's lost industrial status. She made the pledge while in the Tanga region as she continues to seek re-election ahead of the upcoming country's general elections in October this year.
First of all, we had started with the Pangani route, the Pangani 50-kilometer section. The construction has already reached 75%. Meanwhile, the Pangani Sadani Mkurungi section construction has reached 50%. The Pangani Bridge, along with the road, has reached 62%. Our commitment is to fully complete this road.
On the other hand, Samia promises the construction of an international fish market in the region to consolidate the fisheries sector, highlighting her party's desire to further improve ports and industries in the region.
Tumeanza ujenzi wa soko la samaki la kimataifa.
We have begun the construction of an international fish market at a cost of 1,300 million shillings, which will have fish drying facilities. This will increase the income of fishermen while stimulating different development projects.
This is a continuation of CCM's campaigns urging Tanzanians to support Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan's re-election bid. Still in the election stories, the presidential candidate of Alliance for African Farmers Party, AAFP, Kunjengo Balemwiru, says if elected, he will ensure that every ward in the country is connected to the natural gas pipeline so as every citizen can access gas for cooking at an affordable price. The presidential candidate made the remarks in the Newala district in Mtwara region during his party's campaign rally, insisting that the natural gas supply system is pivotal to national development and people's health. He adds that Tanzania is endowed with numerous natural resources, including gas. Hence, gas for cooking should be readily accessible to all at an affordable cost. More, the presidential candidate says his party will provide free modern roofing materials to every Tanzanian with a thatched house. FP presidential candidate Kunjengo Balemwiru continues with his party's campaigns in the Mtwara region. CCM's Zanzibar presidential candidate Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi vows to build and improve the business environment for residents of Unguja and Pemba so as to accelerate people's economic upliftment. Dr. Mwinyi made the pledge when he visited and spoke to traders at the Mwanakwerekwe market in Unguja as part of his political campaigns to meet and talk to special groups in the community face to face.
I want big investments to be done here. I want the landscape around here to change because of the big investments ahead. This area is very important.
Dr. Mwinyi also uses the opportunity to urge citizens to turn out in large numbers to vote on the 29th of October this year.
Polls, you will see the changes that will come here.
Presidential running mate of Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM Ambassador Dr. Emmanuel Nchimbi says his party continues to be committed to put in place better systems that will eliminate bureaucracy in the formalization of the country's informal sector. Speaking to residents of the Ubungo constituency, Ambassador Dr. Nchimbi insisted over the next 5 years his party is determined to implement its manifesto with aims at improving the lives of Tanzanians.
In the next 5 years, we are determined to focus on empowering business people, especially small business owners. Our commitment is to formalize small businesses so that they can operate legally, improve their productivity, and gain access to loans. We will also ensure that licenses are issued on time to all who need them, removing unnecessary delays that hold back growth.
Furthermore, Ambassador Nchimbi says the government to be formed by his party will continue to be committed to ensure sustainable, clean and safe water distribution.
At the same time, we are committed to expanding the water supply system in areas such as Kimara, Sinza, Mabibo, and Makurumla. We will strengthen all sources of water supply in Ubungo and improve their capacity so they can produce enough water to meet the growing demand of our people.
Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM presidential running mate Ambassador Dr. Emmanuel Nchimbi continues with a campaign in the Dar es Salaam region. As this week, the country marks just over 1 month since the official campaign period started for Tanzania's October general election. We are joined live in the studio by a political analyst and an advocate of the High Court, Novatus Igosha, to analyze its progress, successes and challenges. Igosha, welcome to TVC News once again.
Thank you very much, Faisal.
So you've been following closely the campaigns from various political parties. What would you say are the themes that have been dominating it across the political parties?
Well, the themes that are dominating across political parties are diverse. It really depends on the specific party's political philosophy, ideology, and what it considers to be key to the voters. But the dominant themes continue to be the economy, access to opportunities, and of course employment, access to healthy. This continue to be the dominant narrative across the board as far as the campaign. And if I have to be giving an analysis with eagerness and of course readiness, and of course dedicated to my mother, she just came from the hospital and she's watching me, I'd like to say the campaign has been in a state of tranquility on both sides of the aisle, the ruling party and of course the opposition. So these key themes as far as access to opportunities, be it trade access, youth employment, continue to be dominant.
Do you find them relevant? They're dominating, yes, but are they relevant to the current situation in the country?
Of course, they are relevant as far as health is concerned. Every country's economy depends on a very vibrant, healthy workforce. And therefore, as far as the build-up of about 12 referral hospitals will continue to give material benefits to women in the village, people in the cities, and of course access to agricultural equipment will continue to be vibrant in the economy, and of course employment. Graduates and other professionals need to work, and the cost of living must also be considered. So as far as the economy is concerned, voters will continue to check whether the government is accountable enough in terms of the cost of fuel. Is the government transparent enough in balancing the political sides of the aisle? Is the political situation fair? Human dignity? Do we work as a unified people in terms of our values, freedom, human rights, and the rest of the things? Most likely when you see both candidates, the president herself and others, they speak things that are completely relevant to the people.
youth, of course, are an important part of the community and the largest in most African countries, including Tanzania. How would you assess the way they've been engaged in these campaigns, both the youth but also the first-time voters? How would you assess?
My perspective is that they are very crucial because they form the larger part of not only the voting blocks now, but the future of the voting bloc in the next campaign, 2030, and in the foreseeable future. They are more engaged on the digital platforms, social media, the way you see, the way they talk in terms of comments, how they react, reflects what is happening offline in real life. And therefore, I think youth go to rallies to see whether the campaign reflects what they want. Fairness, opportunities, meritocracy. And this fairness is not only things that reflect their own issues, but the larger economy, but also other factors like human rights and, of course, fairness in terms of what is at stake.
I'm sure this is not your first election to witness, so you've seen previous elections. In what ways would you say the strategies, the strategic implementation of these campaigns have evolved over the years in the general elections and the campaigns?
Well, I've witnessed several, but if I have to be giving a constructive perspective, it is how the digital world has changed policies, how they are intertwined between what is spoken, different from other parts of former campaigns. You could see policies, campaigns are only printed on newspapers. But right now, when you go to social media, you could see the digital campaign. Pictures are becoming more vibrant. Accessibility to how the campaign is going on, not only on television, but on fingertips. Smartphones are trying to engage people. And therefore, connection and connectivity with the people, the voters, and their specific constituents, members of parliament, and of course the president herself and the other opposition leaders is very much connected by the digital transformation in the politics.
Lastly, how crucial are the remaining days up to the 29th of October? But also, what do you wish can be changed a little bit with regards to the political parties and their campaign strategies?
To be honest, I'd like to say that politics is an evolving ecology, like a color-shifting lizard. It's not a chameleon, but what happens on the ground can change any time. Now, what I really do wish to see change is those people that are given the privilege to go to support the campaign when they are given the podium. They should make sure they know what they say, but the most important, how they say. How does it affect the president's image? And when I say the image, I don't mean the picture. The reputation of the campaign itself, the political capital of the president, divisive rhetoric, divisive language is not important because voters want to be inspired on why they should vote. Voters want to go to the campaign unified. And therefore, people should remember this is the campaign first and foremost of the president, because she's coming back in a very historic campaign. Number two, it is the campaign for the people, because power comes from the people as far as Article 8 of the Constitution of our country is concerned. So what I really want people to understand is that their own grievances, either against the former candidates or against anyone, should not use that language to divide people in terms of political grievances, in terms of religious divisions. They need to go there to know that the campaign should be unified. People need to vote collectively, and they should respect that, not to take people for granted. And this is something I really wish they could change, regardless of their position in the party, regardless of their position in former administrations, regardless of their position in the economy. This is a historic campaign because it's the first time that universal suffrage, we are having a woman candidate, and therefore it should be relevant for us all.
Thank you very much, Igor.
Thank you very much, Faisal.
In other stories, Hungary's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Peter Szijjártó, has arrived in Tanzania for a one-day working visit aimed at strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. Speaking to TBC News, Minister Szijjártó says his visit underscores Hungary's commitment to supporting Tanzania in key areas of development.
The two countries more than 50 years ago. This bilateral relationship has always been characterized by mutual respect. And nowadays, when the global security has been faced with tremendous challenges, such partnerships are definitely getting more and more significant. I have to tell you that we in Hungary respect a lot the work Tanzania has been performing in order to contribute to the security of this region, to ensure stability in this region. And I have to tell you that we Hungarians and Tanzanians and Hungarians are belonging to the peace camp together. We do prefer diplomatic solutions contrary to wars and armed conflicts. We both share that no wars end up on the battlefield, but all the wars end up around the negotiating table. Therefore, diplomacy must always be given a chance, and we both, Tanzania and Hungary, stand up for peace and stability all around the world. I also do have to tell you that we respect the pragmatic, common sense-based approach of each other. That's why we are able to work together on very practical terms.
In Dar es Salaam, Minister Szijjártó held talks with his host, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, who says the agreements to be signed will address vital sectors of social services and trade.
Our President, the campaign President, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Excellency President of the United Republic of Tanzania, talking about water to wananchi, to the people. And this is one of the major discussions we had with tied aid of Hungary to bring water from Lake Victoria to the 200,000 population in Biharamulo. And because of tied aid, we are going to work with a Hungarian company. Another area whereby we had extensive discussion is to increase the trade and investment cooperation between our two nations. At the moment, trade volume is around 1 million, but we are hoping to increase 3 times. Sorry, it's 2.18 now, but we are hoping to increase more than double this in the coming years. We also discussed the progress agreement on promotion and reciprocity protection of investments. And this will be also very soon be finalized in order to increase
The two ministers are also expected to officiate the opening of the Dar es Salaam office of the Embassy of Hungary, whose headquarters are in Nairobi, Kenya. This marks Minister Szijjártó's second visit to Tanzania, following his first in March last year. On the same note, let us now join my colleague Teddy Mparnyanga, who speaks with Minister Peter Szijjártó on the reopening of Hungary's offices in Tanzania, which is expected to mark a new chapter in diplomatic relations, creating more opportunities for cooperation in trade, investment, and education.
There's a great chance to continue this relationship because these two flagships will encourage smaller Hungarian companies also to look into the chances offered by the Tanzanian market. So we already have a company in the field of security printing, another one in the field of putting up solar parks, who have already shown interest. So I see this relationship evolving pretty quickly.
Okay, we also have, we hear about the reopening of the Hungarian offices here in Tanzania. It's quite a diplomatic move. Why now after 3 decades?
I think it was a bad decision to close our representation here. I mean, the first one was closed in '91, the embassy, and then the economic representation, '97. Look, our current foreign policy strategy is different than the former ones. We act according to the national interest. And our national interest is to build relationships with countries which are ready to take mutual benefits out of a mutual respect-based relationship. And Tanzania has shown readiness to that. So given the highly increasing economic cooperation, given this big Hungarian investment here, given the number of Hungarian companies showing interest to step on the Tanzanian market, given our scholarship program, given the more than 100 Tanzanian students in Hungary, given the growing number of Hungarian tourists arriving mostly to Zanzibar, it was obvious that we have to make our personal representation here. Because without personal representation, you cannot make a real success story. You need personal representation. We understand all the magic of this new digital world, but we do pray and hope that human being cannot be, replaced by technology. So a personal human presence is very important. So the representation of ours in Dar es Salaam will have dual duties. First, to help accelerating the construction of the economic partnership. And second, to carry out consular duties, because you have your students in Hungary who need visa, need things to be managed. We have thousands of Hungarians traveling here, honeymoon, holiday, wedding, just summer fun. And whenever there are more Hungarians, located in the same area, after a while you will have some consular duties for sure. So therefore this office will also carry out consular duties in case someone needs that.
In other news, Italian ambassador to Tanzania, Giuseppe Coppola, says training on international cooperation in dealing with transnational crimes for judges of the High Court of Tanzania, resident magistrates and prosecutors is critical in strengthening international cooperation mechanisms in handling investigations and conducting international cross-border cases. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during the training, which has been organized by the Institute of Judicial Administration, Lushoto, in collaboration with the Italy's Sant'Anna School of Advanced Studies.
The objective is to strengthen capacities, to build capacities, and to improve the knowledge of international instruments that Tanzania and Italy have in order to collaborate in this sector. The objective is really to make sure that the experience and the know-how and the expertise that Italy has and the Italian magistrates and judges have can be shared with the Tanzanian counterparts.
Statistics show that transnational crimes such as human trafficking, drug smuggling, money laundering, terrorism, illicit arms trade, poaching and cybercrime are on the rise, driven by advancement of technology and information ICT, as well as free movement of people, goods and services. The High Commissioner of Uganda to Tanzania, Ambassador Colonel Freddie Mwesige, says the late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere left a lasting legacy of Pan-Africanism, unity and self-reliance, emphasizing that Mwalimu was not only the founding father of Tanzania, but also a strong supporter of liberation movements across Africa and one of the visionaries behind the Organization of African Unity, or AU. He made the remarks in an interview with my colleague Caroline Maleo during the second edition of the Twendezetu Butiama Pilgrimage Safari, which brought together more than 350 participants from Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, the United Kingdom, and Tanzania, where he began by explaining the purpose of the visit to Butiama.
What has brought us here today and what brought us here last year is to recall and remember the contribution of late Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, his contribution to the liberation of Africa, his contribution to his struggle to see Africa united, to remember his good examples of humility, of self-discipline, of his love for Africa and his love for mankind.
Do you see that the current leaders are living up to the legacy left by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere? He wanted unity in Africa. There are things that he aspired for African countries to have. Are we really living that legacy that he left?
Unfortunately, the leaders talk about it, but they are very slow in implementing it. But he predicted it. You know, he wanted to delay the independence of Tanganyika so that East Africa, the three countries, Tanganyika, Kenya, Uganda, get independence as a federated nation. But because he said that he was worried that once these people get their flags, get their national anthems, they get their 21 gun salutes, it may be difficult to unite Africa. So that prediction still stands today. We see many African leaders speak about achieving that, but the action is very slow. So really I encourage and I call upon our leaders really to put into action what they say. There's an option. If we don't unite, we shall continue to be fragmented and to be exploited, because those colonies who fragmented us had a mission for it. So they could be exploiting us. And the earlier we realize it, the better for us.
Still in the Mara region, the Africa Mashariki Fest brings together believers and participants from across the continent for a special pilgrimage in honor of the late father of the nation, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, with prayers centered on accelerating the process of his canonization into sainthood. The gathering highlights the profound spiritual legacy he left behind. My colleague, Caroline Maleo, visited the church where Mwalimu once worshipped and spoke to Vitalis Masika about his deep bond with Catholic Church, a relationship that has inspired the push for his canonization.
This is Mara, Butiama, a historic place where the founding father of the nation, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, was born, but also a place where in 1999 he was buried at. This place carries a great history to Tanzania, to Africa, and to the world at large. Right now, I am standing at a Catholic Church of Mother Mary of Butiama Parish, a place where we are told that Mwalimu Julius Nyerere used to worship in all his time when he was still alive. And here we are joined with Frateni Vitalis Masika, who will tell us the history of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere and the Catholic Church. You're mostly welcome, Frateni.
Thank you so very much. Well, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere is the father of the nation, and his history with this church, because he has the history of the whole church at large for being a good Catholic lay person who lived his faith very well. That's why he is even today, he's a servant of God. So that is his contribution for his life to the Catholic Church. But for the construction of this building is also because of his good relationship that he used to have. He was a good religious person, and he met up with these missionaries of precious blood of Jesus, whom they had to, after they talked, they said that they would help him to construct this building, the church building, for him to worship while he was still alive during the time back then.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us about these chairs? What do they signify in this church?
This was put here, was set here just to honor him, even when he was still alive. When he used to come here for worshiping and praising God and praying, they constructed this because he was the president, and in a special way, just to honor him, and they set this place just special for him and his wife, Nyerere. So everyone, they came here for worshiping, praying to God and praising God. This is where they used to sit. And in their absence, nobody used to sit here, even today. But it has remained as the tradition. Even when Mama Maria Nyerere comes to worship or to pray, she normally sits here. That is just like the tradition now.
And if this is a church that the founding father of the nation used to worship at, how do the people who worship in this church feel like when they talk about Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere?
They feel honored. It's like privilege to them. Being here, being member, being born around here, at large, but also, they just feel happy. Just like that. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much, Fratelli, for that explanation that you have provided.
And that is all we have for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.